Rogers, well, if you're a Rogers customer, you know that earlier this month you had an issue when it comes to a power outage, that for some it lasted perhaps a few hours or on to maybe a few days, and it affected 911 calls and it affected businesses, and it just affected people's ability to be able to communicate when it came to essential needs, whether it was for their banking, whether it was like I mentioned, calling 911 or calling their loved ones, or even going to work, because it affected not only the mobile, but it also the cell network, but also affected internet. Now, Rogers Communications Inc. engineer began its 6 steps of a 7-step process to upgrade their core infrastructure that supports the company's wireless and broadband network. As they continue to do this, they're saying that they're taking a look to see how in the future, if there's any service disruptions, what they're going to do to make sure that 911 is not down. When it comes to their CEO, Staffari, he said that Rogers has made progress towards reaching a formal agreement with other wireless carriers that would allow them to automatically switch 911 calls to each other's network in the event of a future outage. And this is, of course, related to what Bell and Telus would do in the future as well, because when it comes to the federal government, well, they had an emergency meeting after that outage to figure out what to do in the future. Well, they said, as a Rogers customer is able to roam outside of Canada, let's just say, for example, in the United States or in Europe, well, those are based on agreements that Rogers has with those other carriers. And so the federal government said that at home, in domestic, in Canada, well, these carriers should have an agreement with each other that in case there is an outage, that they can, make sure that their customers are on another carrier's network to make sure that interruptions don't happen like this. Now, the wireless giant is also partnering with technology firms to conduct a full review of its network, and they're saying that they want to learn as much as possible about the outage, and there will be a report that will be released. When it comes to Rogers executive, well, they're scheduled to appear in front of the House of Commons Committee on Industry and Technology today to discuss the outage. The committee is said to have made up of members of, obviously, MPs, and they're going to be going into the incident in more detail. But Rogers says that it has replaced their chief technology officer, and they have taken steps to make sure that they're holding the people accountable when it comes to the outage that affected millions of Canadians throughout the country.